warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how is your life for today? I hope all of you are staying in good condition. Well, have you already known me before? I believe that you have already known me. So before that, I'm going to introduce myself. Let me introduce myself. My name is Laila Maqfirotika and usually my friends call me as Laila. My ID number is 213101060001 and I'm from TBI 2 class. So in this occasion exactly, my purpose to make this video is to fulfill my final examination of second language acquisition. So it's really honor for me to finish my final assignment, which is given by Mom Sofatin Humaida as our loving lecturer. So everyone, let's start to my explanation today. So everyone, there are three topics that I will deliver to all of you today. They are: the first is the role of the first language in second language acquisition. The second is the causative variables in second language acquisition. And the last is the role of grammar or putting grammar in its place. So let me start to the first point, that is the role of the first language in second language acquisition. So what does it mean, everyone? So here, by Stephen Crescent, discuss the role of the first language in second language acquisition, that there are 3 points. There are 3 points of the first language. A substitute utterance initiator is discussed. The first is first language influence appears to be strongest in complex word order and in word for word translation or phrases. The second is first language influence is weaker in bound morphology. And the third is first language influence seems to be strongest in acquisition poor environments. So what does it mean, everyone? It means that interference from the first language is not the result of the first language getting in the way of second language skills, but rather the result of the performers, or we can say falling back on old knowledge when they have not yet to the second language acquisition. So this material also discuss how first language influence may be an indicator of low acquisition or the result of the performers. So in this material, the main argument of second language acquisition and second language learning by Stephen Crescent is that the first language plays a significant role in second language acquisition, but it is not the only source of errors in second language performance. So that everyone, the first language influence may be an indicator of low acquisition or the results of the performance attempting to produce before having acquired enough of the target language in terms of the monitor performance model. So interference is the result of the use of the first language as an utterance initiator, so that the first language influence may be an indicator of low acquisition or the result of the performance attempting to produce before having acquired enough of the target language. So the second point of my explanation is the causative variables in second language acquisition. So in this material, discuss that the important points in second language acquisition. So there are several points that I will share to all of you. That the first is comprehensible input and effective filter. So in the comprehensible input, the acquisition occurs when there is comprehensible input containing structures a bit beyond the acquirer's current level, and low or weak effective filter to allow the input in. So the comprehensible input here and the strength of the filter are the true causes of second language acquisition. So the second point is in the language teaching. So in the language teaching helps second language acquisition when it supplies comprehensible input, especially for beginners and varying language students who do not have other source of input. However, everyone, language teaching is less useful for those who have resource of input outside the classroom. So the third point is that expressor variable. So in the several expressor variables have been investigated with respect to second language acquisition, such as length of residence in the second language environment. So the hypothesis that comprehensible input plus low filter is the true causative variable predicts well when expressor variables relate to second language acquisition and when they do not. And the fourth point is that the age of it. The chapter which is discussed the relationship between age and second language acquisition, that the availability of the conscious grammar, the monitor allows adults to produce formally acceptable utterances using the first rule prepared by the monitor, as discussed earlier in my explanation before. So it emphasizes that the importance of comprehensible input and low or weak effective filter in second language acquisition, that language teaching can help when it supplies comprehensible input, especially beginners, but it less useful for those with rich source of input outside the classroom. So in the age also plays a role in second language acquisition, with older acquirers having a greater ability to obtain comprehensible input and utilize the monitor for language production. So the last point that I will explain you, that is the role of grammar or putting grammar in its place. So this point discussed that learning doesn't necessarily become acquisition. Just highlight this sentence, that learning doesn't become necessarily acquisition. So there are cases of language acquisition with prior conscious learning. So many second language performers can use complex structures without consciously knowing the rules, indicating that acquisition can occur without prior learning. So let me give you the example. Let's imagine together, everyone, someone learning a new rule of language structure of grammar. They may consciously study and understand the rule in a lesson, but when it comes to the real communication, they might struggle to apply or may not happen immediately or at all. So even well-learned or well-practiced rules may not turn into acquisition. There are instances where individuals, despite knowing and practicing a rule for many years, still make careless or errors on certain items. So in the acquisition doesn't necessarily require previous learning, while learning may often precede acquisition. It is not a direct cause of causation. We acquire along a natural order when we receive comprehensible input, and occasionally we learn certain rules before we acquire them, giving the illusion that learning causes the acquisition, so that the students can acquire a rule without conscious learning it, and those who learn what they have already acquired may find it satisfying, but it is not language teaching. So this suggests that acquisition can occur independently of conscious learning. So there are the rule of grammar in putting in the right place. That is, the first is grammar as conscious learning. So grammar used conscious learning has two possible rules in the second language teaching. The first is it can be used with some profit as a monitor, where it acts as an editor correcting corrects in the output of the acquired system. The second is it can be used as subject matter or for language appreciation. Sometimes we can call as linguistic. So in the second point, that is teaching grammar as subject matter, where teaching as subject matter can result in language acquisition in instances where the target language is used as medium of instruction. Acquisition also can occur in these classes when students are interested in the subject matter grammar. So in such cases, the input is comprehensible and considered to be relevant. So that's the explanation that I can share to all of you. There are 3 points of my explanation. The first is the role of grammar of the first language in the second language acquisition. The second is the causative variables in second language acquisition, and last is the role of grammar or putting the grammar in its place. So everyone, maybe that's all that I can deliver to all you all. Maybe that's all from me, and last I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your watching.